Hey everyone, Jigs VL here with a brand new review and discussion to kick off 2025 to talk about the likes that is Clock Striker. And I do want to quickly just say that I know not everyone is going to jump into a brand new refreshing story that they want to sink their teeth into. I for one will be willing to give something a chance as long as it piques my interest. As simple as that, just like with anyone else, alright? So without further ado, all I want to say is that I think the artwork looks pretty colorful and stunning. There's in between drawings, if you're about to continue the story, you'll be seeing pages like this that is beautifully colored, really well drawn, and especially that all the characters' face expressions look really good. There's so much fine detail around there, and I really dig that. I really like how they show the fear, how they show the excitement, the thrill, especially to show their little wholesomeness or some sort of emotion. I really love the art put into this, and the person who did the art is by the name of I hope I am pronouncing this right, okay? Isaka, there we go. I think it's pronounced Isaka Galadima. Isaka Galadima. Dude, you did a tremendous job. So yeah, high props to that guy. Or maybe of a different gender and or sex, because you never know nowadays. I mean no disrespect nor to be rude. I'm just trying to be as honest and genuine as possible, okay? The other thing I do want to say that the story writing coming from Frederick L. Jones, I must say, I thought it was actually surprisingly impressive to actually put out this is what stories need: organic dialogue, organic writing, because some of the things that do tend to be original, let it be hey, you know what, let's put out something kind of comforting and maybe people will just watch it. It might come across as dull and not as organic whatsoever, and then there's something that is a little bit spiteful or misguided in a way, and you're just are we just being insulted? I don't like that, But then there's something that is definitely organic to the very bone, from beginning to end, that you're hey, I don't feel insulted whatsoever. I don't feel bored. I actually feel like I'm getting to know the characters. Especially when I mentioned about the art with the expressions, is that there is communication in between the characters when they're interacting. So the dialogue does hold weight. And especially what I do want to mention is now talking about what are the characters' names. You get Cast and Miss Philomena. I hope that's the name right, because I was even trying to read from the back of the cover, alright? I know that's a little bit cheating, but just bear with me. Alright? So yeah, Miss Philomena, what I gotta say about her, not to say that these are the creator's intentions whatsoever. This is how I feel about Miss Philomena. For someone who I consider to be already my new favorite character, she comes across as I may not have seen Mary Poppins by a long shot, only snippets and only trailers, but I think of if Kakashi Hatsuki from Naruto took a form of Miss Poppins. I'm wow, you're kind of pretty cool like that, but you still she carries a mystique aura around her that I really am fond of, that I really dig. And she actually shows a lot of care to the character Cast, and that hey, do you want to become a smith? And that's gonna be kind of a thing in this story, hey, that there's these smiths who are very expert, advanced inventors and fixers, or whatever you want to call them, that hey, I think it's pretty cool in a way, especially that just to pinpoint here at the very bottom where it says the world's most diverse manga inspired comics, in which, yeah, it is trying to go for that style. It even says here on the top, like a shonen type energy. Like, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense that it's going for like a shonen manga style, but of course, instead of like how traditional manga from Japan is supposed to be, like going from pages like this, right? Like in this way, but of course, when it comes to, I put it upside down, didn't I? I'm sorry. But of course, when it comes to America, we're gonna be reading it like this, as always, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some people out there that would take like a slight issue or nitpick with that, which is fine by me. For me, I take no issue at all. I have no strong preference when it comes to reading manga or comics, and generally speaking, I'm just definitely the kind of guy who just wants to read something that is actually good in a way. If it's not, then I may not be getting another manga or book at all whatsoever, which hasn't entirely happened yet, unless I want to count something that just comes across as underwhelming. Perfect example of underwhelming. As much as I like playing one of the video games, this was a little underwhelming, but who knows if I will change my mind, and I even give this a second read, right? But hey, we're not talking about Samurai Kagura. We're still talking about, I put it upside down again, I swear. We're still talking about Clock Striker. And when it comes to cast, like, she didn't have a strong intention at first in becoming a smith. She just wanted to like one up that one awful evil teacher who's actually wasn't a teacher at all. Like, did a completely 180 that, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna show you what I really mean. I'm gonna double down. Like, yeah, I am one evil guy. All right, I'm one evil guy that is gonna screw with you. All right, like your family, your brother. Like, Cast has a brother and a mom that they're both are trying to take care of, and the brother was doing something he was not supposed to be doing at all, but decided to like team up with the evil teacher instead. All right, so yes, Cast is going on some adventures along with Miss Philomena, just for her to become a smith. Right now, Cass is just a smith apprentice, all right, instead of becoming a full-on smith. So there's still like a lot to be desired when it comes to, like, I just hope that there is a part 2 to this, so that way I can definitely get it eventually, and to break down what a smith is coming from the Clock Striker world. All right, so I also want to say that, like, what's a nitpick personally to me when I was reading this is that how would I put it like this? Like I said, it's only a nitpick. It doesn't affect my overall enjoyment nor investment in the story. Is that, like, yeah, the action looks really good. I cannot deny that. It looks really, really good. I just think, like, all that smoke and clouds just looks a little jarring to me, especially like in between some action sequences where it just takes me out just a tiny bit, but I know I'm trying to retain my focus. I'm like, okay, then, okay, I know what's happening now. I now know what's happening, right? So, I think also what I do want to mention is that, like, that I mentioned about, like, that most or some of these characters are disabled, because I think that's kind of interesting in a way where Cast herself, this robot arm she has on, like, she actually found it somewhere where, yeah, she has no arm over here, only has one that is working well, right? Manages to find a decent looking hand and or arm that she can use, and boom, it works like a charm, and she's using it as a weapon. I'm like, okay, then that's pretty cool. I really like that. So yes, I would definitely recommend for people to check this out. All right, if you want a brand new refreshing story, especially like for those who really want to have like original diverse characters, this is definitely for you. All right, and I'm for someone who like may not too strongly to care about the whole like representation thing, because like I'm getting sick and tired of that coming from like the mainstream corporations. Understand where my frustrations are coming from, all right? Because like there's just too many things going around there. But hey, you know what? I don't mind this at all, right? And this is the same guy that watched the Owl House, damn it, and I love the Owl House. Okay, so yeah, that's all I had to say. If you guys have read this yourselves, what are your thoughts and opinions? And if not, again, I would definitely check this out to read it for yourself and form your own opinion. This has been Jigs VL saying off right now. Later.